What's up? What's up? What the heck is up, Denny's? We are back with another week of DTT recap, and man, they made my job difficult this week, okay? These matches were so spicy. The first match played, I was like, no chance that's not game of the week, okay? It's not game of the week, okay? That's how crazy it was. I was like, no chance it's not game of the week, and then I was wrong. I've never been wrong before. This is the first time in my entire life. Let's just jump into it, baby. Here are the matchups. Is this going to be shaken up at all? We will see. But first, before we actually get into any of the highlights, we've got a little bit of drama, baby. Okay, so CGO, it's come to light, the allegations that CGO Grum cares more about his personal record than his team's record. So he's being sat by his coaches so he can dodge the LTG Relix matchup, because Relix is on a hot streak, okay? He's a stone cold killer, and Grum doesn't want any of that, okay? And so then Grum is hiding behind this guise of severe tendinopathy, which is preventing him from, quote, stunting on the haters. Grum, you gotta take a back seat, brother. You can't be doing that kind of thing. But then we realize, we dig into this, okay? In past weeks, Grum did not dodge the Zanku matchup. So that's coming. Now we're stirring up a little drama, because we're saying, you know what? Relix is good enough to dodge, but Zanku, garbage. We don't need to dodge him. This is hot. We got the receipts on the chat here. Ridiculous. So the week is already starting out hot. And then we jump straight into the Relix Daisy game. So this was going to be Relix Grum if Grum didn't dodge the matchup. But instead we get Relix Daisy. And this is the one that I was talking about. I was like, no chance this is not game of the week. And let me also just tell you, there were so many good highlights that needed an actual replay view. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth between the slides and the replay. We're going to be watching a lot of games. So let's just jump into this, because this is crazy. We're watching on hyper fast because there are so many we had to go through this week. But basically, game's starting out, and then Skunk Tank comes in on the Toxic. It's a big pursuit on this, and then we get the Hidden Power Ice, and the Hidden Power Ice, the roll, 55 the first roll, 58 the second roll. Now we get a critical hit on the dang Kieran Black, and I'm like, this Skunk Tank is going crazy. But then we miss a Draco Meteor, okay? So now Kieran Black's going crazy. We dodge a Focus Blast. We dodge another Focus Blast. Okay, so now the Kieran Black's going insane. It's like, there's no way we're coming back from this. But then Keldeo, it's a physical Keldeo, so now we're boosting. We switch out on the Bullet Punch. It looks like Relix is really on the back foot. Like, how do you come back from this, okay? The Kieran Black was dodging every attack when in Insano mode, a Draco Meteor and 2 Focus Blasts. We both got this Mega Scizor. The Mega Scizor is able to revenge kill this Jolteon. And now we have this issue where we got this Keldeo. It's got the Z move, the Acid Downpour, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we're killing with Overheat on the freaking thing. And then I don't even have words. Okay, it was a slugfest. It was back and forth. It was like Relix's Skunk Tank is taking down Daisy. Daisy comes back and dodges every attack, and then starts slugging Relix back. And then Relix comes back with a Keldeo coming out of nowhere. I guess it was like a Scarf Infernape, so it doesn't have Mach Punch to kill the Keldeo. But the Keldeo had Aqua Jet, so maybe it did, and maybe it was just a speed tie. And then the Aqua Jet kills the Infernape, and then Relix like, okay, that was like game of the week material, right? But it's not even game of the week. That's just game number 1. So we got to go back to Google Slides view, because we got to get back to some other highlights. You'll be seeing why game of the week is game of the week, because if it's more crazy than that, because that was a crazy game. Okay. Now we get into, we're not going to watch this whole game, but we have Achilles. Sorry. Let me talk about it before I show it. LTG Achilles Greedy Conk is the answer to Jirachi and Crobat. Jirachi and Crobat are definitely answers to Conk, but Achilles says, no, they're not. Watch this. We'll just watch this one on fast mode because it's just the first couple plays. Dodging a Super Fang, easy peasy, Ice Punch. Now we're like, maybe we have a Roost or a Brave Bird or something coming out. Nope. A Healy, literally in the face of Crobat, is clicking bulk up. He's like, I dodged a Super Fang, therefore I can bulk up. Insane play to me. Insane play. And now we have the Pyapa Berry just on top of it. Juicy, we eat that up. And then the dang +1 Conk is killing both a Crobat and a Jirachi. And then look how greedy this is. A Healy, get that out of here. You can't be doing that in next week. But he's like, hey, if it's been working so far, go ahead, throw a Will-O-Wisp at me. Primal's got the sidekick. A Healy goes on to win that one, but it was just a crazy, crazy start. Had to show that one on the highlight reel. How about this? Daddy's entire team gets in on the action in this one. Back to replay view. I'm telling you, they're making me work. I gotta open. I only have one screen, and I gotta click on OBS. I gotta switch the view, so I'm not over here on like the other screen, like being able to dual mouse it and whatnot. Like, no, I gotta manually click. I gotta manually switch. I'm getting exhausted. I'm running out of dang breath. How about this? We're watching this one on hyper fast mode as well. So this is Daddy versus Cameron Blazeit. The end of last week. This was like the game to watch. This is a lot of hype coming around it. Araquanid getting the kill on Tapu Fini early. But all of a sudden, man, Daddy starts just running away with this game. Lucky Para there. But we're going to see the entire team get in on the action. So we saw, except for Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini didn't do a whole lot. He got a little bit of chip on that Araquanid there. But we got the Zeraora taking a kill. Actually, 2 kills. Now we got the Skarm that is just switching the team around. He's getting the spikes up. He's doing what Skarm does. He's +4 speed. It's the fastest Skarm rain the world's ever freaking seen. Now Mudsdale. Mudsdale's getting in here. Mudsdale says, you can't autotomize on me. I'm not letting you do anything. I'm making sure people don't set up. I'm making sure that this Deontay doesn't get out of hand. I'm making sure that the Celesteela doesn't get out of hand. We're spinning people. We got the rocks up. We're spinning them around. Finally, Gallade's like, I've been sitting in the back the whole time. I want to get in on the action. So Gallade starts taking kills. Even a Roselia's getting out here. Roselia's taking a kill on a type null. Okay, so and then Roselia's coming out here to stun spore the Celesteela. Literally, what Mon on Daddy's team, other than Tapu Fini, has not done something this game. This team is putting in the dang work. We're getting 2 kills with the Roselia. It's a hot game, Daddy. Cameron, I want to see you bring the heat next week, brother. I want to see it. I know you can bring it back, but that was a good game for Daddy. I will say that. Now we got a masterclass. I need a break. We got a masterclass by FMP Scamps Whimsicott plus T-Spike. The Whimsicott does not set up the T-Spike because that's impossible. A different mon sets up the T-Spike, and then Whimsicott comes in to basically annihilate the team. And this also brings Scamp to 3-0 on the season. So he is. Oh, let me back it up. I keep telling you, I gotta change the views. We're going back to the first turn. Okay, we're watching this on hyperfast. So this is FMP Scamp versus PIP Arigimo. And this, I will say, Ari, this is not your fault. You know, this is a just spicy building matchup. One in the builder. So it's a floating Weezing to try to check this Great Tusk. And once he gets those T-Spikes down, Gen 9, not incredible defoggers, man. You get behind that sub, you start setting up Leech Seed. And this goes on for a while. The whole Empoleon and Whimsicott looking at each other for a while. So let me just skip past those for a little bit, because that happens like 10 turns in a row. But this Whimsicott says, I'm just going to sit out here. I'm going to quickly switch out into Gren. It's not an Ashgren. He named it Ashgren. It's not an Ashgren. He's being sneaky, okay? Blood Moon. Oh, one of the spicy things about Whimsicott as well, Encore Whimsicott, you Encore that Ursaluna into the Blood Moon attack. It can only use it every other turn. So then you just substitute on the turns that it can't attack, and then you're clean and yada yada yada. But basically, what are you gonna do? The T-Spike is down the entire game. The Empoleon gets killed by the Greninja. The Weezing was floating, and then Scamp Masterclass with the Whimsicott and the T-Spike. We love it. We love to see it scam. GG's. Congrats on the 3-0, brother. Now we have, okay, finally. Whew. I get to give my hands a dang rest because we got a couple of spicy highlights. Just pictures, thankfully. Because I need a break. This is probably going to be one of the longer recaps. So, congratulations to FMP Johnny putting the hurt on PIP Shaded. This was an 18-turn game. Started out with Mewtwo basically going sicko mode. Mewtwo might be a little bit broken in the Ubers metagame. He was cleaning up some dang mons. Next we have a clutch para for LTG Pez. Where there is a Weavile, there is a way. You see this Infernape, Vacuum Wave, paralyzed, Weavile at +2. Gets to clean up the rest of the matchup. If that para didn't happen, that would be a win for Mare. Mare, sorry about it. You hate to see it. Next, we have the Carve Calcs going. I think it was last week that we had the Carve Calcs going crazy. Carve out here, if you're neutral, it doesn't matter. You're getting O-code, Hydro Pump, one-hit KO on Snubble, out of there. The other day, it was a Crunch, one-hit KOing a Chinchou. Who's letting Carve out into this Little Cup metagame? Somebody's got to lock this guy up. Congratulations, Carve, but the Little Cup meta, this is not the spicy. This is not even the spiciest calc, but the spiciest highlight in the Little Cup meta this week, because we have got a Magikarp on the freaking kill board, brother. And this is about as... Who has ever seen a Magikarp that's boosted this much? It's a rattled Magikarp that got hit by a beat up and then got hit by a Sucker Punch and then kills a Diglett with the flail. We got a freaking Magikarp on the kill board this season. Sylvestron, very, very, very big congratulations. We love to see that. Magikarp on the kill board. I still can't. That's probably in contender for play of the season, because I really love that. Anyway, two more. They're both going to be games that we're going to jump to. And the first game that we're going to jump to is a Clay. So PIP Clay, it's his debut on the season. He's been busy with SPL and other things and mostly just coaching. But he comes out with a hot victory against King Rock, who was 2-0. So putting an end to King Rock's reign. But first, I'd just like to point out, watch Clay's moves the next 4 turns. Okay, Clay switches out. Turn 1. Okay. Clay switches out a second turn in a row. So we have a double switch. Oh my goodness. I forgot to change the dang view again. Am I even a freaking YouTuber? We're running it back. Okay. Now, this is the first switch. This is the first switch. So, somebody in chat, please tell me when I'm not changing the damn view. Okay. Switch number 2. We got 2 switches in a row. We got the double switch. We got the triple switch into Rotom. Doesn't want to volt switch into the Jolteons. We got a freaking quadruple boople switch. 4 switches in a dang row, doesn't even attack. He's like, why do I need to attack? And Pokemon's not a game of attacking, it's a game of switching. He doesn't even have rocks up on the other side. It's just a clean quadruple switch just for positioning purposes. And this is funny. This is a matchup that we've seen a couple of times. The Skuntanks are just doing really well against the Jolteons this week. We saw it in the Relics game, and now we see it in this Gen 5 game. But I also do want to show the rest of this game, because after the quadruple boople switch, you'll end up seeing why I want to show this game. It'll all make sense in due time, but let's just finish it up for now. So the Starmie is looking pretty clean. It's looking, especially with a Reflect type, a Steel Psychic Starmie. But we got the Earthquake Trick Room Bronzong. And that's coming in clutch, because then he forces a kill. When you got the Starmie that's Steel type, and the Jolteon and the Terrakion, nobody's switching into Earthquake. And then the Bronzong blows himself up. And now the Kyurem's slower than both the Starmie and Terrakion, so he was able to Ice Beam either one and get the kill. King Rock decides that Terrakion's probably the one, and then we get Virizion in here to come clean up the mess. I don't know if that was a speed tie at the end or maybe a Scarf Virizion, but clean win Clay, and knocking King Rock off, because King Rock was 2-0, now 2-1, still having a great season though. and FMP also, they're hot. Okay. But finally, we get to the game of the week. Game of the week. This is the second time PIP Zank has been in the game of the week. And remember, this is Grum was calling out Zank. Grum was saying Zank's a garbage player. This is Zank's second game of the week. And that's because this was back and forth a slugfest. Cyber, FMP, Cyber, really great player. PIP Zank, despite what Grum says, really great player. We got the calcs, we got the slugs, and we got the plot twists. And this time I will remember to change the view because I see somebody in chat writing for me to change the view. And before you ask, no, I do not actually have a live chat. This is just a recording, yada, yada, yada. It's a joke. Shut up. Let's get into it. Let's play this game on fast mode. So we start out with the Rubambi. Cyberaz goes, turn one, I'm boosting, baby. Sash coming from Garchomp, very clutch. But guess what? The special attack drop and the special defense raise, and it's a flamethrower, okay? So then we switch in to Steelix on the Moonblast, but we have the Shuka Berry, so we can Gyro Ball and clean up that Rubambi. Now, in the face of Lando getting up the rocks, we Gyro Ball with Steelix. Very dangerous play. It ends up working out. Here's where the calcs really start coming in. Zapdos, Calcan, I want to live a Stone Edge. Okay, I got to back that up a turn. Okay. Zapdos, Calcan, I want to live a Stone Edge after rocks from Lando. Living on 2%. But Lando, how do you even calc for this? This has got to be just luck because I got my Yachi Berry, right? I'm expecting to live an HPX from full. But they're both living on like a freaking sliver of health. Super clutch from both sides, but then the Zapdos dodges the dang Stone Edge, which is just insane. So it's like, and then the Zapdos has the Yachi Berry too. So the calcs are coming in clutch from both sides. And then the Altaria coming in to live 2% on Gunk Shot and not get poisoned. And it's a Infernape that I guess doesn't have a priority move. So then it switches out and the Altaria gets the kill on the Ferrothorn. The Rotom does a weird thing. It comes in and kills with Toxic, I guess, predicting a switch out into Necrozma or something. And then obviously, when you're trying to revenge a Rotom, what do? You come in and you bring your Ninetales in so you can use a fire move. Okay, so it's kind of crazy, but this Infernape is in a pretty good situation, right? So Infernape into Necrozma, the thing that you really have to worry about would be something like if you U-turn and it sets off a weakness policy from the Necrozma as it autotomizes. But if you don't do that, you have the Sun Up right now. So like having the Sun Up, you just go for Flare Blitz, because then you're not setting off a weakness policy. And then with your Kyurem Black going to come in at 75, you should be able to kill Necrozma after the Flare Blitz damage, and there's nothing Necrozma can do to kill you, especially because it doesn't have a Z move, because the Ninetales already Z moved. So obviously, Cyber is in a very strong winning position here, as long as he doesn't U-turn, as long as he just fire moves into this Necrozma and he can 2-hit KO. And then if he gets killed, then the Kyurem should be able to come out and live whatever the Necrozma does. Okay, so Cyber looks like he is definitely winning this match. The calcs were going back and forth crazy. The slugs were going back and forth crazy. Cyber is in a clearly winning position. Unless you break out, I'm putting this on normal speed, the Necrozma barely lives the Fire Blast in the sun. Figgy Berries has the Trick Room to hit the Infernape with the Photon Geyser. Literally the only set that could possibly win this game was Trick Room Necrozma. And it's coming after Clay brought the Trick Room Bronzong with his own teammate to also, can I just point out, Blizzard critical hitting. We love that. A Blizzard, which you almost never see unless you have the hail up, but now you're blizzarding in the sun. It's still 70% accurate, but that's just a funny thing. But yeah, now with the Trick Room up, the Steelix that didn't die to the Lando because the Lando chose to set up rocks instead of attack what was in front of him, which, I mean, honestly was a reasonable play from Cyber. It was a good play to get the rocks up. It's always important to have your rocks up. But that Steelix comes back from the freaking death. He dodged a dang bus, and then he comes back to win under Trick Room with Gyro Ball. That is crazy. And the fact that PIP used Trick Room in 2 different games this week to clutch some wins. But I will say, unfortunately, despite those 2 Trick Room wins, those were the only 2 wins PIP got, and FMP wins 3-2 to advance to 3-0, and they are still the top team in the league. Team Liquidation also beats Emo Flamigo, which means Team Liquidation is still undefeated. And then LTG from 0-2 comes over and wallops CGO in the face, and that moves them up the rankings, so that we have 3 teams that are 1-2, 2 teams that are undefeated, and the Pony Island Pelipers, which I originally had at like 2nd place in my power rankings, being last. So that was a bad pick by me. Obviously, they've had some good games. Zank has had Game of the Week twice, and Clay comes in to great effect. But unfortunately, PIP down at the bottom. And these are your current rankings. I'll leave them up for just one more second. And now we go to the individual player rankings. So we have Divinity. Divinity is also undefeated. I didn't show any highlights from him this week, but 3-0 Divinity, and Scamp, obviously I already shouted out for being 3-0. A couple of other undefeated players. So Grum, caring more about his player record than his team record. His team falls down to 1-2, but he's up to 2-0, right? And Bubba, both from CGO. We have A Healy, who is Lavender Town Gengar. He is undefeated as well. He is the old gens master, which is funny because he never plays old gens, but then he always plays old gens in DTT and somehow wins, beats everybody. We have Johnny and Scamp, and then King Rock on here, who are all FMP, which is no surprise that they are undefeated. Then we have Zach Wee, who is, I think Zach Wee is a Lavender Town. Yeah, no, Zach Wee is an Emo Flamigo, sorry. And then Pez, Lavender Town Gengars, and Reg, another FMP player. So FMP overall, some very strong records. And there's a couple of other 2-1 players that got cut off here. So if you're also 2-1, very sorry, it only shows the top 10. And then you're probably getting cut off based on the alphabet. So apologies for that. I think Rage is on here maybe. Which if Rage is 2-1 and it's not on here, maybe it's not alphabetical. I don't know what it does, but there's some other 2-1 players. That's what I'll say. Anyways, these are the matchups for next week, which means there's a clash for first place. Team Liquidation and FMP, both undefeated, and now they are playing each other. This is going to be fighting for that #1 spot and the week 1 bye in playoffs. So I will see you all next time.